Okay, good day. This is Priscillah from Zambia. I'm a lecturer at University of Zambia. I just welcome you to this wonderful lecture, Trade in Copper and Environmental Sustainability. I've taken the case of Zambia. Thank you so much. So next slide, we are looking at this trade in copper and how it can help us. Yeah, so just to describe a bit of the copper, having read the background that you read, the objectives, and as well as the copper, the details of how much copper is in Zambia. It's a relatively soft, malleable, and ductile metal, which is preferred for electric conductors. Malleable in that they're able to change shapes. So it's able to be changed to cables or flat sheets. So it is very ideal for electric wiring, excluding the overhead electric power transmissions where aluminum is often chosen. So while roughly half of mined copper is used in electrical wires and cables, copper serves as an essential component in the electric motors, as well as in corrosion resistant and waterproof buildings or building materials, notably for roofs, for rain gutters, doors, pharmaceutical machinery, alloys, transport equipment, and other uses. You know, copper has a lot of uses. So it's a metal that is very good it's a tradable good actually, worldwide. And you find that in Zambia, it accounts for 75.1% of the total exports, which in 2018, for example, accounted for $6.8 billion US. And it is sold in raw form. Copper has been central to the socio-economic development of Zambia, with significant contributions to the national GDP and employment opportunities and other positive benefits that it has for the country. And for a long time, it's been like that. So mining is a process through which this tradable good is extracted from the underground because it is found underground. So mining is one of the main activities through which landscape alterations and land degradations take place in Zambia just to extract the tradable good. So mining has also come at a cost to the country, as the interests of the mining have been given priority over community land use needs. So historically, there's been little protection of the environment to avoid land degradation through deforestation and pollution as they clear the areas to do this mining. So we are going to see the next slide, which gives us how much copper is extracted. Like I took a sample of a year extraction. You find that the slide that you're seeing now, it has in May, it had its highest peak of production or exported copper. And you find in November, again, it had its highest peak. But in September, it was the lowest. But you find that every month, copper is mined. And it's mined in million US dollars. So it's a lot of money that comes to the country. So this next slide is giving us like a comparison per year from 2014 up to 2018. So you find that copper concentrates have been on sale actually since time immemorial. But this slide is just showing a period from 2014 to 2018. Initially, we used to have a lot of production, but when prices go down, you find that even the production reduces. So you find that what you're seeing on the slide, these are the effects, environmental effects that mining does. It does the air pollution. It also does the crop pollution and destroys crops. And it degrades the land. And these pictures you're seeing, actually, the one down there, it's the pollution that comes from the mining plant. It's so much, it's only that it's not so much in color. And the other picture you see in the middle, this is how much crops are affected. So you find that because Zambia is more dependent on mining and agriculture. So you find the effects of this tradable good they leave people with no food, promoting poverty and the like. And also water is polluted because they need to wash these ores, copper ores, you know. So in the next slide, you also see other pictures that are showing the degradation that the mining of this copper leaves behind. This is deforestation and land degradation. You find that some land have ended up being like a desert, and other mining, and there are a lot of mining companies, as you've read in the background information. The major ones that I listed, they are not the only ones. We have more. And also you find that it also leaves an effect on the land. It pollutes the land itself. As you can see, the black soil here, nothing can be planted there. So now, with all these activities to extract this tradable good, we want to also relate it to the policies or instruments that can help us to benefit in a better way, because this has been the order of the day since time immemorial. You find that instruments were started like in 1994. That's when they combined the commercial trade and the industrial policy, you know. And when they combined it, they were just working on it until 2018. They formulated the policy itself, which is now the trade policy, national trade policy. And this was launched in April 2019. So the policy sets a guidance for Zambia in our engagement with external partners and operations of the trade domestically. And you find the major market we have is external partners. In the background information, you find a table that is showing some countries that have been buying this copper. And the aim of the policy actually has been to create an enabling environment for the expansion of the external and domestic trade with the ultimate objective of contributing to national development. So you find that when we take care of the environment, we can still infuse it in the national development. The next slide also gives us more details on the policy itself. It shows us the focus when they were coming up with this policy. They wanted to promote export-led growth by pursuing markets bilateral or regional or multilateral agreements. So like Zambia is a member country to COMESA, SADC, you know, WTO, AGOA, and other schemes. So you find that the focus has been to build productive capacities and competitiveness of the Zambian economy. Apart from that, also addressing the unfair competition that trade remedies or competition law that it brings. They want to promote, to address the unfair competition, because you find that there are others who have a bigger voice than others in this trade. So they want to create the fair competition. So also promoting the innovations, they want to promote the intellectual property management and support trade infrastructure to facilitate trade itself. And promoting also, they also try to focus on promoting consumer welfare. Apart from that, they support the local suppliers by empowering them in relation to this tradable good, to see how best it can also benefit the local people. And also it focuses on accessing trade in finance. Yeah, so this slide also gives us the context in which this policy was formulated. You know, it was formulated in different contexts whereby they wanted commitment to be undertaken by Zambia under various frameworks that it was working with under. And also the context was to look at the capacities of the private sector players as well. Also, it was looking at the context from the point of view of undertaking with cooperating partners that are in this business. Lastly, they were also looking at the human resource capacities, where they included the academia, the public and the private sectors, institutions, and NGOs in this thing, in discussing the policy formulation. So that was the context in which they did. So in the next slide, you'll see even other responsibilities, how they shared responsibilities. Because we've seen the context under which it was done. There were a lot of players or people from different angles. So now this one shows the division of the responsibilities. You find that the ministry itself, Ministry of Mines, the role is to formulate policy in consultation with relevant stakeholders. And also you find that the other division which is there is the specialized agencies in this business of this trade, copper as a tradable good. So these agencies have been established to implement Zambia's trade policy measures. Some of these agencies fall under the ministry, which is Ministry of Mines, and others cut across other ministries or government departments due to cross-cutting nature of the trade, because it involves quite a number of other sectors. So in the next slide, you find that we have a list of some of the agencies that are involved. This division of responsibilities, it gives us the picture of now the agencies. Some of them, we are not limited to these that are listed, but these are just some of the major agencies. We have Zambia Compulsory Standards Agency. It is responsible to look at the standard measure of the tradable good and other activities that are involved. We also have Zambia Development Agency, so that as we plan for development as a nation, the policies are within what we are targeting to achieve as a country. Also, we've had the Patents and Companies Registration Agency, to ensure that every company that is trading in this, they are registered, and also they are able to keep track. As a nation, we are able to keep track of these companies in terms of also the revenues that will come through tax and other things. And also you find that we have other agencies like Business Regulatory Review Agency. They review businesses that are operating in different sectors, but we are specifically looking at the tradable good of copper, which includes mining of it. Also, we have the Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. This one is responsible to take care of the complaints or maybe anything that has to do with the consumer protection, because a consumer has to be protected. So these are the agencies, but you find agencies that are outside the ministry also. These I've mentioned are under the Ministry of Mines, but there are other agencies that are outside the Ministry of Mines, like the Zambia Revenue Authority, where tariffs and customs duties are also taken care of. We also have plant quarantine and phytosanitary services. These are outside the ministry. We have the Zambia Environmental Management Agency, which is responsible to do the environmental impact assessment. Sometimes they even go to the social impact. And this is the agency which is outside the ministry. It's an independent one, so that there is proper checks and balances, which is maybe the ministry could be doing, or the government. So in the next slide, we are going to also have maybe something that maybe we can point to, which you yourselves can help us to see how best we can benefit, because this has been running for a long time. But even if it's been running for a long time, look at the degradation you saw. We still have degradation of the environment. We still have externalities that affect the people in the environment. So you, as a participant, would want you to help us how we can make trade in copper or extractive influence environmental sustainability. So consider the situation in your own country, relate it to our country, and try to help us, because we can learn also from you. Thank you so much.